Welcome back with another video today with Piers Morgan. I enjoy Piers Morgan. I like his content, but this time we have someone that I didn't expect to be on his show, but I should have. Right, it's Piers Morgan. He interviews literally anybody. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's back, and she has come to the show to, I guess, just spread her bullshit. Let's not even play a game. She's just here to spread her bullshit. And we're going to listen to it and see what it is. So let's get it.
Surging anti-Semitic attacks since the Israel-Hamas conflict began. Incidents in the US have spiked by nearly 400%. People from all over the nation have traveled to the March for Israel, which also demanded the release of hostages taken by Hamas. Well, from Washington, I'm joined now by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose new book, called MTG, is out soon. Well, welcome, MTG. You are a very...
How conceited do you have to be? I mean, I get it, biographies, right? But some biographies, they have titles that relate to the struggle. What's her struggle? Being MTG?
Thank you for having me on.
No, my pleasure. You're a very controversial character. Depending who I talk to, they say you're an absolute firebrand, the female Donald Trump. Others say you're a conspiracy theory whack job. How do you plead?
Agreed. Whack job.
Well, I'm only controversial because people like you made it that way, Piers. And that's why I wrote my
book,
MTG.
What have I done?
People in your industry, they create.
Wow, I actually was right. Yes. That's her struggle. Her struggle is being MTG, being me, my life. My life and everything about it is hard. I cheated on my husband. I did all this bad stuff. I say all these things that, people think I'm dumb for. I support a president that's committed, terrible atrocities. January 6th, need I go on? Crazy.
Created a character of me that doesn't exist. And so I wrote my book, MTG, so that I could tell my country and tell the world exactly who I am and what my real views are, which are not radical. They are not controversial. They're actually very American, and they represent the views of not only my district, but most Americans who are sick and tired of being sold out by Washington.
So you never promote ridiculous conspiracy theories?
Well, if you mean by Russian collusion, absolutely not. Those are the conspiracy theories and the lies of the Democrats and the media.
Well, I agree with you about Russian collusion.
No, I never promoted those.
I agree with you about that. It was ridiculous. I said so at the time.
Well, there was no, yeah.
No, and we were born out. But for example, I want to play you a clip from a guy called Bassem Youssef. He was known as the Arab Jon Stewart. And I interviewed him recently about the war. And he said this about you.
People that were in so much support of Israel are anti-Semite themselves. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she said I send my aides, and they took pictures of the protesters. Basically, she's surveilling protesters. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is very known for a very famous post in 2018 where she blamed the California fires on a Jewish space laser gun.
Now, you did, didn't you?
Oh, she did, didn't she? I mean, if that doesn't get any wilder than that. Jewish space laser. For those that don't know about Tsunami, my name was made up from thinking about moves that don't exist in the world, right? So I thought of a Tsunami. I thought that'd be a pretty powerful attack, right? Like games, right? Video games. Jewish space laser would be a pretty OP attack. So, kudos to my girl.
Because I've read that post. I went and got it, and I read it. November 17, 2018. You posted a long thing on Facebook that was just complete gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook.
I talk about Jewish space lasers
do you admit
in my
that
book
was a
because
lunatic?
that's something I never said. No, excuse me, Piers.
I really want to read this book now. I may have to read this book now.
Never said that phrase. That was a lie about me. If you read my original Facebook post, I never said, and that's why I had to write this book, because people like you and whoever that guy was, who sounds like one of the trolls in my social media, attacking me and calling me names when he's never met me. I'm not anti-Semitic at all. I support Israel, and I am outraged at Hamas attacking innocent Israeli citizens,
Yeah,
women,
Marjorie,
children,
I'm not calling
slaughtering babies.
I'm not calling you anything. I'm just saying that you did post this crazy post, basically alleging that.
The media lied about it, and that's why I wrote my book, Piers, because I'm setting the record straight. And I hope people order my book at mtgbook.com. It's a great
plug.
People need to
Shameless
know exactly
plug.
who I am, and what I really believe in.
It's a very good plug for the book. But you did suggest in this post, which I've read very carefully, you did suggest that the California wildfires at the time had been started by PG&E in conjunction with the Rothschilds using a space laser in order to clear room for a high-speed rail project. They're your words, not mine.
Well, people have twisted my words nonstop, and I guess that's what you're going to continue to do. But we're working hard in America to straighten.
Where's the twist? I mean, look. If I have the Facebook post, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find it easily. It's right here. Like, these are your words. Did someone hack your account? Like, did someone coerce you into doing this? Was there a gun to your head? I just need to understand the context. Who's twisting your words? How? What did they do? Give us more details, please. Please. That's where the devil is, in the details. But she probably is the devil, right?
Out our problems. You are. You're doing a great job of it, Piers, and that's what you and your colleagues do all the time.
Marjorie,
I just don't. I don't handle it. I don't deal with it, and I cast it to the
Marjorie,
side.
I have
there's a lot of issues.
All right, I will say though, it seems to be the Republican agenda. Maybe it's just her agenda, but it seems to be straw man the media, like Trump used to do, and just call the media fake news, alternative, always trying to make things negative, blah 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 blah. Right? That's ultimately what they're trying to do. And in the Trump era, unfortunately, it worked because of all the support he had, and because nothing was proven, he was really getting indicted at the time. Like, everything was just being very dodgy with his trials and stuff when he was president. But now that things have been actually like hitting him, and he's been getting hit with like a lot of laws, and people are actually on his ass, it doesn't hit the same way. Alternative news, fake news. So Marjorie is just utilizing this technique, I guess we'll say. Personally, I think to no avail.
Issues happening that we could talk about.
I'm going to come to those.
We could talk about.
But before we move on, though, you have to just accept what you wrote yourself, don't you? You deleted it. So obviously you were embarrassed by it.
Well, that would be like me asking you to accept the fact that you defended prisoners at Guantanamo Bay, but never say anything about January 6th defendants who are having their rights abused and are rotting away in solitary confinement here in our country, and especially in the D.C. jail. If we're going to talk about each other's words, let's hold each other to account and to issues that really matter, not social media posts from.
Piers Morgan is from the UK. He's British. Yes, obviously he covered January 6th and everything, but is that going to be his primary focus? The people who committed this act of terrorism and are in jail for it? I don't know. It's just I don't see why Piers would care past this headline. January 6th terrorists are now going to jail for committing terrorism. That's it. That's the headline. Like, why would he care more about that than he needs to as a United Kingdom political commentator, right?
Let's talk about January 6th, by all means. I mean, I know what I witnessed with my own eyes, and it was a huge violent mob.
Oh, wait, were you here?
It was, sorry?
Were you here?
No, I watched it on television.
You weren't here. Oh, I was here. Piers, let me tell you, I was here. I was actually in the House chamber because I objected to Joe Biden's Electoral College votes.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that. I would object again today if I could.
You did suggest that people...
I was there.
But you did suggest that people use violence to thwart democracy, didn't you?
Well, you mean like in 1776 when we beat your country? Is that what you're talking about?
If you want to reference...
No, I didn't talk about violence on January 6th.
If you want to reference 1776...
What I did talk about is objecting, using my constitutional duty that I have as a member of Congress to object to fraudulent electoral college votes.
Let me play you what you said.
Absolutely, I did that.
Let me play you what you said. Let's play what you said. Your own words.
This is an important time in our history. We can't allow this just to be gone, just to let it go. You can't allow it to just transfer power. peacefully like Joe Biden wants and allow him to become our president, because he did not win this election. It's being stolen and the evidence is there.
See, look at that. She does two things here. She's inciting violence, January 6th, and she's saying that it's election fraud. Oh, jeez, come on, man. Marjorie, that's the thing. She doesn't want to stand by her words. A lot of people in this world, they don't want to stand by their words. You say a thing, you better stick to it, my guy or my gal. 10 toes down. Always commit to what you got to say. You can take back what you say once you get new facts, learn new things. You can apologize, whatever you got to do. Understand? But you can't do that bullshit. Promise you. You cannot be fake, because people will catch you eventually. Especially in this media-driven age. Come on.
There can be no peaceful transfer of power. So what's the opposite of peace?
That's why we objected, Piers. That's why we objected.
And that's why, Marjorie, a gigantic
privilege
mob
that
of...
I have as a member of Congress.
Okay, but let me make my point.
There was a law firm that tried to take me off the ballot, and they were laughed out of the courtroom in Georgia. Let me make my point. And you were giving their talking points. I can't tell you how much people in Georgia would think this is ridiculous.
Let me give you my talking point, which is that a huge mob of people, many of whom were violent, crashed into the Capitol to try and thwart democracy.
Wait, do you mean like
you, Marjorie, people like
rioters?
You said two things.
You mean like the pro-Hamas rioters?
No. I'm talking about January 6th.
That came in and occupied our Capitol on October 18th.
Marjorie.
And I'll say this is another tactic like these Republicans like to do. They like to just, when they know they're going down a losing narrative, they like to add another one. And then when they go down another losing narrative, they add another one. They keep adding narratives in order to, placate the blame and placate what the hell we're even talking about. So she's a snake. She's a weirdo snake.
Rashida Tlaib herself led.
Answer my question.
No, wait, we're in 2023, Piers.
Marjorie, answer my question.
We just had a pro-Hamas mob.
You've written a book in which you talk about these things.
Okay. And Rashida Tlaib
Can I ask you a question? Can I? Let me ask you the question. I want to ask two questions. One, presumably when you say there can be no peaceful transfer of power, you mean there has to be some violent objection to it, which is exactly what we then saw on January the 6th.
I didn't say violence. You're putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to let you do that.
You said
no, Piers, I'm not going to let you. You're lying. I'm not letting you put words in my mouth that I never said.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, look. While she is correct, she didn't say that explicitly. She implied it heavily. However, when it comes to media and it comes to talking, you got to be fast, you got to make your point hard, and you can't give the other person any leeway. Unfortunately, Piers in this instance, he gave her leeway because her tactic is to take on to... She will listen to what you have to say in order to make it serve her own purpose, like a snake would. She's really disgusting, bro. I really hate her.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You want to know where the real election interference happened? It happened with Hillary Clinton,
Marjorie,
Barack Obama, and Russia.
Another narrative.
And
I've agreed with you
went
about
through
that.
hell for 4 years
I've agreed with you about Russian collusion. Let's agree about that. But let's not agree about the stolen election. I told Donald Trump to his face, and he didn't like it, called me a fool 7 times, that the election was not stolen from him. He has singularly failed to produce any actual hard evidence that there was any stolen election. Do you still believe that election was stolen?
Piers, you're not even a voter in our country.
No.
And I can tell you right now, as a Georgia resident,
another
and a
useless narrative.
In Georgia, our Secretary of State illegally changed the laws. So did Wisconsin. So did Pennsylvania, to allow our states to be flooded with absentee ballots. We have cases in court today. You should look them up. Fulton County case.
These are cases that are about to be heard
in the next few months. Piers, excuse me.
Marjorie,
we're about to prove those cases.
It wasn't stolen.
You can think that all you want, but you live over in Britain.
It's not just me
I'm
saying
an American.
I'm
a Georgia voter. I'm a member of Congress. I've seen the evidence. Our election was stolen in 2020, and we are going to re-elect President Trump in 2024.
We'll come to what you're going to do, but just for the record, I do have a home in America, and I spend a lot of time in America, and I have lived and worked in America for 20 years. I love America. I love Americans. I particularly love your democratic system, and I don't like to see elected officials in America, whether it's you or Donald Trump, pretending you had an election stolen when there is actually no evidence it was stolen. And in fact, many senior Republicans
There's plenty
agree
of evidence,
it wasn't
Piers,
stolen.
and if you aren't able to, if you aren't capable of believing the truth,
Prove it in the courts.
that's your problem.
Prove it in the courts.
It is being proven.
It's not
Look
being
up
proven
the
in the
Fulton County
courts.
case. Look up Georgia
No
cases.
court
They're
has
in the courts
upheld
right now.
a stolen election.
Piers, don't lie to your viewers.
Marjorie,
cases
I wouldn't
right
call you a
now.
liar.
There are just cases in the court. Doesn't mean anything was proven.
Oh, so you're telling me
I wouldn't call
suitcases
you a
of
liar. I
ballots
think
being
you're
pulled out from
completely-
under the table?
Marjorie,
Yeah.
I'm not calling
Have
you a
you
liar.
watched the videos?
I'm simply
Stacks
saying,
of ballots being put through
Marjorie,
the
as I said to
through
Donald
the
Trump,
machines, counted over and over.
Marjorie, as I said to Donald Trump, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying produce the evidence, because no court in America has so far established any evidence that that election was stolen. It's for the birds. It's cloud cuckoo
That's
stuff.
because those cases were dismissed on standing, but we have cases coming up, Piers. Pay attention so that if you
I'm
really
paying
want your
attention.
viewers to know the truth,
If you prove
pay
me
attention
wrong-
to these cases
Okay.
happening right now.
Let's have a
but
bet.
let's talk. Do you have anything in 2023?
Yes.
Do you have? Because we've done
Yes.
January 6th stolen
Yes,
election.
I do.
Okay, what do you got?
Here's
I've
what
got
I've
a book.
got.
How about my book?
Hey,
MTG.
okay.
This is
Let's
going to
talk
be
about
great.
your book.
MTGbook.com.
Let's talk
and I
about
cannot
you. You
wait
plugged
for
it
people
enough.
Another
You plugged it
plug.
enough. Let me ask you, is Donald Trump going to win the election?
Absolutely. He's blowing it out of the water. The primary is a joke, and he is winning poll after poll on the general election.
And if he gets convicted of one of the myriad criminal offences he's been charged with, and if, I'm not saying when, if he is convicted and he gets a jail sentence, will he be president from a prison cell?
Absolutely. People are going to vote for him even if he is in jail. I would vote for him even if he's in jail, because we have communism in our country, Piers. We have the Biden administration that is using the Department of Justice like the campaign arm of the Biden campaign. It's unbelievable, and Americans know this. That's why people that are independents, Democrats, many voters are switching over to supporting President Trump because they're seeing it for the first time in their lifetimes.
Okay, Marjorie, we've got to leave it there. It was a lively encounter. Come back again, and thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
He's just being nice. Who in the hell would want her to come back? Oh, jeez. All right. Well, that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Honestly, I thought we were going to talk about Israel. Didn't even talk about Israel. Like, barely talk about Israel, right? It was just about MTG because she's such a controversial person. Oh, oof, crazy. Anyhow, I think I want to read the book. I really want to read the book and like make an expose about it and like talk about it and just expose all of her shenanigans and bull crap, right? Get her out of here socially. But that's it. That's the video. Thank you for watching, and I'm Tsunami. Like, subscribe. I'm shining out. And look, before I even end this video, I just have to tell you that she's fucking crazy. She actually is a crazy person. This is everything she said. She believes that Muslims don't belong in the government. 9/11 was an inside job. Shootings at Parkland, Sandy Hook, and Las Vegas were staged. Zionist supremacists are secretly masterminding Muslim immigration to Europe in a scheme to outbreed white people. Leading Democratic officials should be executed, and the QAnon conspiracy theory, which holds that Donald Trump is secretly fighting a worldwide child sex slavery ring that was supposed to culminate in the mass arrest of his political opposition, is worth listening to. If you can listen to this person and think she's a sane human being, she's not. She's someone that got lucky in the political sphere, got some money. Now she can say whatever she wants because she has a team that supports her, and they love her crazy batshit ass. Wow.